What's up everyone, it's James here from Smoking UK and welcome to our YouTube channel where we review, we educate and communicate all things tobacco. Today we're kickstarting it off with an amazing Cuban cigar by Romeo Y Julieta, the Wide Churchill. So let's run the intro and let's get into this amazing cigar. Now, this is a beautiful cigar, and if you've been smoking cigars for a while, and especially if you've been smoking Cuban cigars for a while, you definitely would have heard of this cigar. The Wide Churchill was almost like the initiation, the be-all of end-all of Cuban cigars. There's not many Cuban lovers out there that haven't tried this cigar, and believe it or not, there's not a lot of people that have got a bad thing to say about it. That has got a beautifully easy draw, believe it or not, taking on. Now, Cubans sometimes can get a bit of a bad rep, especially when it comes to the draw, when it comes to the construction. That is drawing perfectly. I've just gone for a standard straight cut on this, especially with the ring gauge being a 55. So this is a 5 1/4 by 55 ring gauge, so a good hearty smoke. Just gone in with a straight cut, keep it plain and simple. I mean, especially when you're trying a cigar for the first time, it's been a few years, which it has been for me since I've smoked this particular cigar. Straight cut is easy. You'll be able to experience the full level and the time and effort that's going into the construction, especially by using a straight cut. So with this being a 5 1/4 by 55 ring gauge, we are looking at around about an hour to an hour and 15 smoke. Of course, that all depends on how quick you smoke it. I am a pretty quick smoker, so I reckon I'll be able to get this down in about an hour. Doesn't mean I'm going to be puffing away on it like there's no tomorrow. I'm going to sit back, I'm going to really enjoy this. What an absolutely fantastic start of a cigar. You can tell it's Cuban tobacco, those Cuban flavours are just soaking my palate and soaking my mouth, and it's literally making my mouth water. Absolutely fantastic. Now, Romeo Y Julieta is one of my favourite Cuban cigar brands, and I would say out of all the ones that I've smoked, this is quite on the light side, especially when you compare it to like the number 2s or anything like that. This is really light, very floral. There's not really any spice on the palate at all. A very small underline of cedar, which is just rounding everything off amazingly. But I wouldn't say any particular flavour is outpowering the other. I wouldn't say any single flavour is dominating the other. These are all coming together as one symphony to make this ultimate flavour, which is literally, my mouth is running. I can feel the saliva building up in my mouth. Absolutely fantastic. And like I said before, a lot of people have heard of this cigar, a lot of people have tried this cigar, and I think now, it's been many years since I've had this particular one, and I think now I'm sat here, I'm enjoying it, I've got a nice coffee to my side. I'm now realising why so many people go back to it. What a fantastic blend, what an overall fantastic cigar. It feels amazing in the hand. The ring gauge isn't too big. Now, the first thing you'll notice when you go to the store, or if you buy online, or when you first get the cigar, the appearance. I think when it comes to Cuban cigars, Romeo Y Julieta hits the nail on the head every single time, especially when you've seen them lined up in a box. That looks like the epitome of Cuban cigars. They almost set the standard of what Cuban cigars should look like, and this cigar is exactly that. You've got the Romeo Y Julieta standard band, and you have a gold band underneath it representing the Wide Churchill and stating the Wide Churchill, and together it works absolutely perfectly. The wrapper itself, beautiful oily browns, very firm, very packed. That's why you know you're going to get a good construction, you're going to get a good burning, you're going to get a lot of flavours. The tobacco has really been packed in there. I always find Cuban cigars always pair amazingly with coffee. But of course, like normal, and something you will notice throughout your journey on this page, I will always have a warm drink and a cold drink beside me. My favourite drink to pair, soft drink to pair, is a Pepsi or a Coke. Something about the sweet and savoury mixes absolutely amazing together. So whenever you see me smoking a new cigar, or a cigar I haven't smoked for a while, you will always see a coffee and a soft drink beside me. That way I can mix up and change up the flavours, and I can really test my palate to see what this cigar is giving me. So now that this cigar is well underway, it's completely taken over my palate. It feels absolutely amazing. Let's dive a little bit deeper into this particular cigar and its history. So this particular stick actually had received its first debut entered the cigar industry in 2010 and received rapid success among cigar aficionados, and now I'm getting well under my way into the first third. I can kind of see why. Of course, this one did come in after the amazing success in 2006 of Romeo Y Julieta Short Churchill, which, unless you're new to cigars, I'm sure you would have all tried, or at least would have heard of. Again, another fantastic cigar that is thought very highly, especially in the cigar community. The ash on this cigar is a beautiful light grey to white, nearly crystal white. Obviously we've got the moody ambience lighting in here, so you won't be able to see the true colour of it, but the ash on that is absolutely beautiful. We haven't got a bad burn at all on that, and some Cuban cigars can receive a lot of bad rep, especially with the New World cigars, really up and coming, almost setting a new standard for cigar construction. This is a great construction, lovely, beautiful, oily black line around the head as well, absolutely beautiful. And like I said before, with the coffee as well, absolutely fantastic. You got the lovely bitterness from the coffee. Obviously I do put a sugar and a bit of milk in there as well, so you got that whole creaminess on the go, along with the creaminess and the cedar and the hay, the earth coming from this particular stick. It's almost like they were made for each other. This would also go amazingly with rum. Now I think this would be a perfect time to point out the Smoke King rum that is available on our website. I will leave a link in the description below. This is an absolutely amazing rum, and I'm not a rum drinker myself. This would pair absolutely phenomenal with this particular cigar. That creaminess and that cedar, especially the earth, really intensifies, especially when you take it out on that retrohale. That really just brings it all together. And if you don't know how to retrohale, I do urge a lot of people to learn it. A lot of your taste receptacles are in your nose. There will be a video upcoming on this YouTube channel over the next couple of weeks, so go check that out as well, and I will teach you exactly how to retrohale, just to heighten your experience of every cigar smoke. Because you'll probably notice if you're watching this video, every 2 to 3 puffs I'll always retrohale, just in case any slight changes occur. I want to be able to know when it does. But we're well underway into the first third here. I'm going to sit back and I'm going to enjoy this. Join me in the second third. We'll see how this cigar is going. We're going to jump into a little bit more of the history and the backstory of this particular cigar brand and why so many people love them. Welcome back everyone. We're well underway into our second third right now with the Romeo Y Julieta Wide Churchill. Now the flavours that I was explaining in the first third has really kicked it up a notch right now. That cedar has really coming through, it's coating the mouth, which is really common with Cuban flavours, and it's really just coating my entire mouth and is filling it up with all these amazing flavours. It has turned into a really beautiful smoke. The one thing I've got to point out in the first third is the aromas that this smoke is filling the air with. It smells absolutely phenomenal in here. I really wish you guys could smell it. It's just filled the room. You got the aromas from the nose, the aromas and the flavour profiles in your mouth paired with that coffee. I would say this has turned into one of my favourite cigar sessions that I've had to date. So the one big question a lot of people ask, especially when it comes to the Romeo Y Julieta Churchill range, is why is a Cuban cigar named after a British Prime Minister? Well, any cigar lover will know Sir Winston Churchill was a huge fan of cigars, and it's very rare you'll find a picture of him without having a stogie hanging out of his mouth. And after visiting Havana in 1946 to have a little bit of downtime after the war, Romeo Y Julieta slowly became his favourite cigar brand, especially after attending an informal dinner at the hotel he was staying in. He was actually handed a box of 500 Romeo Y Julieta cigars, so if he sat there and he smoked most of them, you can kind of understand why that became his favourite cigar brand. And it was at that particular dinner where he delivered 2 famous lines that a lot of cigar lovers will know. And this is what he actually said in the speech, is that Cuba will always be on my lips. And when he was questioned on why he smokes so many cigars, he simply replied with, "I simply enjoy them. They quietly calm down my temper." Now I think any cigar lover who smokes cigars on a regular can agree with that. And in honor of the love that he had for them and everything he did and his passion for Cuba, Romeo Y Julieta named one of the most famous lines of theirs after Sir Winston Churchill. And you know, it's not even just Romeo Y Julieta that Churchill had such an impact on. He actually has a size of cigar named after him, and that's throughout any cigar, New World, Cuban, doesn't matter, an actual Vitola named after him, which is normally anything between 6.5 to 7 inches and roughly 47 to 50 ring gauge, so big old hefty smoke. The smoke output on this cigar as well is massive. Obviously, I know we're not vapors, we're not out here to blow the biggest cloud of smoke, but the smoke output is a really good indicator of the construction of the cigar. And the smoke output on this is absolutely phenomenal. That looks amazing, just slowly drifting up the cigar and off the end of my hand. Again, the tobaccos used in this is slowly just coating the flavour profiles of my mouth. And being on the lighter smoke and coming up to around about halfway through the cigar, I definitely would say most cigar lovers will be able to enjoy this, whether you're a novice, aficionado. It's not exactly a cigar that you're gonna light up and it's gonna punch you so hard in the palate, it's gonna put you off. There's no strong spice, there's no strong anything really with the cigars. Like I said, you've got a lot of like cedar, you got the standard Cuban flavors, and it's very floral, and they're all just balancing with each other like this beautiful symphony to make this blend of cigar. I wouldn't say it's strong at all. Perfect for any cigar smoker. And personally for me, that's my favourite type of cigar. I smoke cigars from all different ranges, from lights, mediums, medium fulls to full, to certain cigars that could make anybody pass out. But my favourite type of cigar is one that anybody could enjoy. You can pick it up at any time during the day, whether it's the morning, the afternoon like we're filming here, or an evening sat in front of the fire with a bourbon or a scotch. It's a kind of cigar that is like an all-round and just fits perfectly no matter what the occasion. And for the price point it comes at, especially looking at Cuban cigars, this is definitely one I think everyone should be having sat in the humidor. Now, we have received a lot of messages that a lot of people are unaware that smoking and now trading, selling Cuban cigars. Obviously, we had to stop for quite a while, but yes, these are available on our website. Of course, I will leave a link in the description below if you want to check out this particular type of cigar. It's an amazing price point for the quality that you're going to get from it and the smoking experience you're going to get from it as well. This is absolutely beautiful. I'm quite glad I sat down in mid-afternoon to enjoy it with a coffee. Again, Cuban cigars do get a bit of a bad rep for having really bad construction, but the burn has evened itself out even more compared to what I've mentioned in the first third. It's a pretty flat and a pretty even burn. I've got absolutely no complaints from there. We are coming up towards that second band now. I am going to take that off in a minute. I'm going to sit back and I'm going to enjoy the rest of this second third. Make sure you stick around and join me in this final third for my overall verdict. Would I recommend it, and what would be the perfect pairing? See you in a second. Welcome back everyone. We are well underway into our final third with the Romeo Y Julieta Wide Churchill. Now, I know I've said this throughout this entire video, but what an amazing cigar this has been, and what an amazing journey we've been on to get to this final third. What started off something that was really cedary and really floral has completely mellowed out now. A lot of creamy notes are coming into this final third. Obviously the cedar is slightly still there, but like I've said before, there's no one flavour overpowering the other. There's not one trying to dominate and overtake. They've all been this perfect balance, which has turned into an amazing cigar. And I've said it before, I don't think this is a particular cigar for any kind of cigar smoker. I don't think you have to be smoking for a while to enjoy this. I don't think this would be a bad first cigar, where there are certain cigars out there, especially in the New World, that can come across as a little bit stronger, so you should tread with ease being your first cigar. But I think this would be an amazing first cigar. So a great cigar for novice and aficionados. The pairings that I had with this with coffee, and obviously I've got my Coke to the side of me, is paired amazingly with it, but I am more of a bourbon guy. Bourbon would pair quite nicely with this, but I definitely think a nice, smooth, fruity rum would pair phenomenally with this cigar, especially if you love your whole sweet and savoury. Another great thing I want to point out is I haven't had to touch up this cigar once. The construction has been absolutely amazing. The burn has been pretty even throughout, and you can see a little bit of bad rep, especially with Cuban cigars, but this has been absolutely great. Obviously, we've got a little bit of an uneven burn there, but the first time having a bad burn throughout an entire cigar smoke, that's not bad. So I want to thank every single one of you for coming with me on this journey to discovering the Romeo Y Julieta Wide Churchill. Thank you for sticking around to the very end and for listening to the history behind this particular cigar. I hope you've all learned something, and I hope you will go on ahead to try this particular cigar, because I honestly think you're gonna love it. Links for everything I've discussed will be in the description below. A link to this particular cigar will be in the description below, so go and check it out as well. We do have an amazing price on this particular cigar. And of course, it goes without saying, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and enable your notifications. I'm going to be posting to this channel at least once a week a full length video, and posting nearly every single day with a YouTube short. I've been James, thank you for coming with me, and we'll see you in the next one.